Hi guys, welcome to Flying Grip Academy. Today we are going to discuss about Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, which is formally called as EC2. So let us discuss what is EC2. Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud provides scalable computing capacity in Amazon Web Services Cloud. Using Amazon EC2 eliminates your need to invest in hardware upfront, so you can develop and deploy applications faster. You can use Amazon EC2 to launch as many number of virtual servers you need, configure security and networking, and manage storage. Amazon EC2 enables you to scale up or scale down to handle changes in requirements or spikes in popularity, reducing your need to forecast traffic. Basically, Amazon EC2, which is used to create a server. For example, you are having an office in US and you would like to establish an office in India, some particular region. So at that time, what you need to do is you need to create an infrastructure and you have to purchase as many number of service and you need to hire employees which is related to network, and again you need a backup admin to take backup daily. If a server is going to be crashed at that time, you will be facing difficulties. That will be taking as many number of days. At minimum, it will be taking nearly 1 month. In order to avoid that difficulty, we are going for EC2. EC2 is a web service from Amazon which provides resizable compute services in the cloud. Resizable in the term it provides, you can able to scale up or scale down based upon your needs. EC2 is a regional. Regional means based upon your geographic location, you can able to save that particular machine. For example, you have selected country Japan. In that Japan, we have regional EC2 server, and backup you can able to store in India or some other place. For that, we are using a EC2. Servers are called instances or ephemeral storage. Server is having another name called instances in terms of AWS and or ephemeral storage. Pricing depends upon pay as you use. How much you are using and that much you are going to pay for that usage. Amazon provides 750 hours free up to 1 year. Resizable instances can be scale up or scale down or scale out or scale in. You can increase the size of hard disk, RAM based upon your necessity. Whenever you doesn't require hard disk and RAM and the instance type, you can able to come on scale down. Reserved instances which provide long-term commitment, and reserved instances are a price is same AWS. It is hourly charge. For example, if you are using a server machine after 1 hour and 0.01 seconds, so then bill will be generated because you need to delete the server before 1 hour, because if it is a hourly charge, even 1 second also next hour bill will be charged. Spot instances. Spot instances are like bidding or auctioning with no commitments. If you want to create as many number of service whenever you are required. For example, Flipkart requires additional servers, 2 or 3 servers on the day of Big Million Day, or Amazon needs Great Indian Festival, 2 or 3 servers. At that time, you can able to create spot instances. Next one is dedicated host. One who needs individual machine in the cloud, they can able to choose dedicated host so that they will be having a separate machine instead of shared. Here, in general instances for application that requires a balance and performance and cost. Example, email responding systems where you need a prompt response as well as it should be cost effective since it doesn't require much processing. For that purpose, you are using a general purpose instances. Example, email servers. Compute instances. For applications that require lot of processing from the CPU, you are going to use compute instances. Example, analysis of data from a stream of data like Twitter stream or Facebook or some other thing. you are going to make an analysis like stock market, other kind of thing, you need a compute instances. Next one is memory instances. It is used for applications that are heavy in nature, therefore you require a lot amount of RAM. For example, a system needs lot of applications running in the background, that is multitasking. A number of servers are running. For example, you are having a Java based server, JBoss, and you are having a database server like MySQL or some other servers which are running in your own machine. So at that time, you require heavy amount of RAM and as well as hard disk. Next one is storage instances. It is used for storage purpose, which is having huge size of data. For example, YouTube. YouTube is a huge data repository which will be storing a huge amount of videos. For that, you require storage instances. Whenever your application is huge size or data is having a huge size, application is huge, you need a high amount of RAM, and if your data is more, whenever you are going to store in the server, then you will be having a huge amount of hard disk. Next one, GPU instances. It is used for applications that required for heavy graphics rendering, example 3D modeling, etc. Here, if you are going to see cryptocurrency that need a heavy GPU because they are going to follow the procedure mining. We are having different cryptocurrencies that are used. Those are Ethereum and some other Dogecoin and some other things are there. So for that, they need a huge GPU instance. So next one, coming to EC2 families. EC2 families are servers. What kind of servers you are going to choose? Here you are having T1, T2, T3, T3A, T4G, A1, C1, C3 and C4. Here if you are going to see the model, T2 defines micro, which is having a memory 1 GB and it is going to store in elastic block storage. Here if you are going to see, there are a number of instance types. Memory instances, if you need more memory for your application. Compute instances, more CPU instances are required. It means one or more CPUs are needed whenever one particular server is crashed. At that time you are going for that one. So next, GPU instances which you need a heavy graphics on a machines. So there are a paid tier and a free tier among this particular thing. You need to select a free tier, since if you are using a small if you are using a Amazon free account. T2 Nano, which gives 0.5 GB RAM, and T2 Micro, which gives 1 GB RAM and 1 virtual CPU. T2 Small, 2 GB RAM and 2 virtual CPU, and T2 Medium, 4 GB RAM, and T2 Large, 8 GB RAM, and which is extensible up to 16 GB of RAM. Scalability defines achieved by changing the instance type anytime. You can able to scale up or scale down. There will be no loss of data and no loss of customers, so that within zero downtime you can able to scale up or scale down whenever you are not required that many CPUs. For example, you have selected 3 or more CPUs for festive application. For example, I have already told Amazon Great Indian Festival or Big Million Days by Flipkart. At that time, they will be having multiple service. If one customer is lost also, then they are having a huge loss of business. Then for that purpose, what they are going to do is their performance should not be decreased, and there should not be zero downtime. There should not be any downtime. For that, they are using this one. Burstable performance. So burst means, for example, if you are going to consider a bike will be having up to 250 kilometers. If you are going to exceed more than that limit, so then the speedometer will be bursted. In a similar manner, so whenever a particular computer reaches this threshold, so at that time what will happen? CPU should be crashed. So for that, by using a virtual memory concept, EC2 instance will enter into the burstable mode. For certain period of time, it will be giving the maximum performance without crashing the system. So next, there are different types of hard disk. There are available in the Amazon servers. One is a HDD and another one is SSD. You all know SSD stands for solid state drive, which is going to give the better performance. Here, if you are going to consider the solid state drive, which gives better performance, and here IOPS stands for input output operations per second. So whereas if you are going to see in SSD, we are having a better performance than HDD. So next, the IP address are categorized into three types: elastic IP, public IP, and private IP. If you are going to consider elastic IP, which is associated by the AWS account, which is managed by the AWS. The next one is public IP. Public IP is a IP which you are going to show the web page and other kind of things to the public by using an IP address, and by using a SSH, you can able to connect to the remote server. The next one, private IP address, is used within the organization itself. So next one is elastic block storage. If you are going to consider elastic block storage, you can able to store the persistent data among them. Here, if you are going to consider elastic block storage, which the data will be used to automatically replicated by using a backup. You can able to create a backup by using this one, and which offers high availability and durability. You can able to store this particular elastic block storage, and you can able to have a snapshot, and you can able to store in some other region. So there are different types: general purpose GP to SSD, provisioned IOPS, throughput optimized hard disk, cold hard disk drive, magnetic drive, so which belongs to previous generation. Instance store volumes. An instance, already I have told, instance is called a server. Instance store is specifically temporarily storage type located on disks that are physically attached to a host machine. Once instance is rebooted, your data is not lost. If you stop and terminate the data, then only your data is going to be lost. For example, if you are going to create an instance, and if you are going to terminate the instance, your data will be lost. So otherwise, if you are going to reboot that particular instance or a server, your data will not be lost. Snapshots. Snapshots is a particular backup which you can able to store at a certain point of time. For example, you can able to take your data and you can able to keep a image copy of data in some particular location, so that you can able to have a multiple snapshots and different backups which you can able to store in a different geographical regions, and again you can able to restore the image by using these particular snapshots. Next one is Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image are templates of OS that are provided by the information needed to launch an instance. For example, you can able to select AMI based upon your region. Here, based upon operating system architecture, you can able to select that whether you want a 32-bit OS or 64-bit OS. So then you can able to select the what kind of OS you need. For example, there are different operating systems, proprietary and free operating systems. You are having a Microsoft, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and Windows 11. If you consider Linux flavors, you are having Ubuntu, Fedora, Red Hat, CentOS, and other kind of operating system which belongs to Linux. Basically, if you are going to consider the custom AI, it will be having a pre-installed packages which are needed. AMIs are built in for specific AWS region. AMI store data, and they are going to place the data in the Amazon S3. Whereas S3 is going to store the data in the form of buckets. Buckets specifies it is a folder. Next one is security groups. A security group acts as a firewall to control inbound and outbound traffic. Inbound specifies whatever the traffic coming to the inside, and outbound specifies whatever the traffic reply by the server. Each security group has rules according to which traffic is governed. Security groups are fundamental of network security in AWS. They control how traffic is allowed into EC2 machines and how traffic is diverted out to the EC2 machines. Here in diagram, if you are going to consider, there are different types of servers: web tier, application tier, and database tier servers. If you are going to consider EC2, web tier is going to support the port 80 and 443 only, and whereas application tier can be communicate by using a SSH. SSH is a secure shell which used to connect a remote host by using a command line by using a putty. So next one, database tier. A third parties can be granted SSH to access AWS resources, and that is database tier, and other internet ports are blocked by default, because whatever the public IP access is there, only that particular portion of the public IP can be accessed by the outsider. Then private IP, only the inside organization people can be used that particular thing. All the data will be stored in EBS. Next, security groups. In security groups, it can be attached to multiple instances. Security group is responsible for creating the key, and you can able to select your security group and VPC, virtual private network. It is a combination in which region you are going to store. Here there are two types of traffics are there: inbound traffic and outbound traffic. Inbound traffic is blocked by default, and outbound traffic is allowed by default. Here, if your application gives a refused error, then an application error is it is not launched. Next, key pair. Key pair is something like you can able to encrypt the data and you can able to decrypt the data by having a key distribution center. In a similar manner, it is a cryptographic technique which you can able to convert a plain text into ciphertext, and again you can able to convert ciphertext into plain text. For example, it is used for authentication. Here you can able to download a key pair whenever you are going to create a instance. So then by using that key pair only, you can able to access, which gives a double security protection in order to access the instances which is created in the Amazon EC2. So next, auto scaling. Already I have told you can able to scale up and scale down whenever you are required. So if there is any necessary is there, you can able to scale up the performance of the server, and whenever you doesn't require, then you can able to scale down the performance. For example, here multiple users are going to access different number of servers, EC2 instances. So where other will be having a similar data which contains in the first EC2 instances. A load balancer is one which is going to manage the network traffic, and it is going to divert the network traffic from one instance to another instances. For example, EC2 one has reached its threshold level up to 80%, then the other network traffic which is coming from the different users will be diverted to EC2. In a similar manner, whenever a low usage machine is there, then it will be diverted to that traffic to low usage machine. Types of load balancers are classic load balancer, application load balancer, and network load balancer. Classic load balancer is a old generation load balancer which is used during the year 2009, and application load balancer which provides a layer 7 security, which is a application layer in the OSI model. And next one is network load balancer, which is new generation, which is used from 2017. It can able to balance the load among the network, and it can able to divert the packets into different EC2 instances. Next one, snapshot. EBS snapshot is a point of time copy of your data EBS volume, so that you can able to store the data which is lazily copied into the Amazon simple storage service. Then EBS snapshots are incremental copies of data. This means that only unique blocks of EBS volume data can have changed, since that last EBS snapshot are stored in the next EBS snapshot. This is all about introduction to Amazon EC2. In the next class, we will see practically how to create Amazon instance and how to connect that particular instance by using a putty, and how we can able to perform Linux commands. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel.